Hi, my name is Amy and welcome. For the last 4 weeks of December, I have decided to introduce you to 4 types of yoga, of which there are many. I chose these 4 types because I do them the most often and I have the most experience with them. So this is just to introduce you to some different styles or types of yoga. And for today's class, we're going to do a Vinyasa Flow. You may have heard that term, maybe you haven't. What is Vinyasa Flow? Vinyasa Flow is simply linking poses together and linking those with your breath. So instead of holding a pose for a long amount of time, you flow in between the poses. So they transition usually seamlessly, or the best that we can, seamlessly as you can, from one pose to another. It can also be called a meditative flow, or a moving meditation, I should say, depending on how quickly you're moving through the vinyasas. Now, the flows, I should say, the poses. Vinyasa Flow will help build heat in your body, and it will also increase your heart rate. So it has a lot of benefits, and I'll go over a few of those here in a moment. But I should just say that there are faster flowing Vinyasa Flow classes, and there are slower flows. And today we're going to do the slower flow because then keeping this at a beginner level 1 class, and it's easier to follow if we go a little slower. So we'll have a little bit, maybe an extra breath or 2 for the poses instead of 1 breath per movement and going quickly. So some of the benefits of Vinyasa Flow include strengthening your immune system. It will build body strength, all over body strength, increases your flexibility. It will improve your posture. It is a great stress reliever. Anytime you have some stress, just getting and flowing on the mat, doing some moves, it's a great way to clear out that stressful energy. It is helpful for your cardiovascular health because obviously it's getting your heart rate up. It increases your lung capacity because you are matching your breath with your movements. And it also improves your concentration and focus. So there's just a lot of great benefits to Vinyasa Flow. So we're going to get right started with it today. I recommend having 1 or 2 blocks if you need to bring the floor up to you. So just have those on standby and handy. That's all you should need for today's class, or maybe nothing at all. And we'll start with a quote by Brené Brown. Authenticity is the daily practice of letting go of who we think we're supposed to be and embracing who we are. All right, so let's get started. Let's go on the top of our mats. Excuse me, and just have your blocks handy. And I'm going to start facing you. Stand in mountain pose with all 4 corners of your feet grounded firmly into the earth. And on an inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Stretch and reach. Exhale, down to your sides. Inhale, arms overhead. Reach, stretch. Exhale, arms back down to your sides. Inhale, reach up, look up. And now grab your left wrist with your right hand and side bend to the right. Take a breath here. Exhale, come back up. And now reach for your right wrist with your left hand and side bend to the left. And inhale here. And on the exhale, come back up. And bring your arms down to your sides. All right, now we're going to step to the top of our mat. Again, if you know you need to bring the floor up to you, grab those blocks, chair, whatever you need to bring the floor up to you. All right, stand in mountain pose again. All 4 corners of your feet grounded firmly into the mat. Arms out to the sides. And on the inhale, raise your arms up overhead. Exhale, hinging forward at your hips, bending forward, and look inside. And a nice bend in your knees is helpful, especially for the first few rounds. Inhale, halfway lift, look out in front of you with a flat back. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, halfway lift, look out in front of you, flat back. Exhale, fold back in. Once more. Inhale, look out in front of you, flat back. Exhale, fold in. Inhale and come all the way back up, sweeping your arms overhead and bring them back down to your sides. All right. Inhale, raise your arms up overhead. Exhale, hinging at your hips, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And on the exhale, step your right foot back and bring that knee down to the ground. And on the inhale, look forward. And now on the exhale, bring your right hand down to the ground, your left hand up onto your left knee, and twist to your left. You can stay here, breathing, or bring that arm up overhead for a nice deep breath here in and out. Inhale. And on the exhale, plant your hands and step back. And you might want to move your blocks before you do that. Plant your hands and step back into plank pose. Inhale here. And keep in mind, you can always modify. So I'll show the modified. You can lower your knees to the ground, and on the exhale, lower down to the ground. Untuck your back toes. And on the inhale, plant your hands next to your chest, and inhale, bring your chest and your head up into cobra. Any amount. Exhale, back down. Inhale, rise up, cobra. Exhale, back down. Once more, inhale, rising up to cobra. And on the exhale, look over your right shoulder. So twist and look over that right shoulder. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, come up onto all fours and come up into a downward facing dog, lifting your hips up toward the air, toward the sky. Air's all around us, hello. Up to the sky or ceiling. And pedal up those legs if you need to for a moment. And take some deep breaths here, in and out through the nose. Opening up those hamstrings, just getting your body warmed up for the flow ahead of us. And on the inhale, we're going to step that left foot forward. Drop that back knee down again. Stay for the exhale. Inhale, looking forward. And on the exhale, step forward. Inhale and look halfway. Look forward, and lift halfway up, flat back. Again, use those blocks if you need to. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, come all the way back up. Bring your arms up overhead and release those down to your sides. And now we'll do the other side. All right. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift with a flat back. And on the exhale this time, step your left foot back and bring that left knee down to the ground. Inhale and look forward. On the exhale, bring your left hand down to the ground. Bring your right hand to your right knee and twist over to your right. Staying here for a breath or two. You can always bring that right arm up toward the sky or keep it on your knee, whichever is best for you. Inhale. And on the exhale, plant your hands and step back into a plank pose. You can always modify and you can always skip plank if you need to. So you do what is best for your body. You can go back downward dog. You need to skip this. Inhale. And on the exhale, lower down to the ground, keeping your elbows tucked into your body. Untuck your back toes. Keep your hands planted by your chest. And now on the inhale, bring your chest and your head up, keeping your elbows tucked back. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, rising up again into cobra. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, rising up into cobra. On the exhale, look over your left shoulder this time, twisting. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, come back to all fours. Tuck your toes. Bring your hips back up to downward facing dog. Stay here for a couple of breaths. Pedal out your feet, your legs if you need to. Excuse me. Really warming up those hamstrings. And if you need to, leave your legs, your knees bent if you need, or you can have them straight, whichever is best for you. On the inhale, look forward and step your right foot forward. Drop your back knee. Stay for the exhale. And inhale, looking forward. And on the exhale, step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Flat back. Exhale, fold in. On the inhale, come all the way back up. Reach your hands up overhead. And bring your hands back down to your sides. We're going to inhale, bring your arms up overhead, reaching for the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, the flat back, look out in front of you. And on the exhale, we're going to step that left foot back, and we're going to come up into Warrior Two. So you're going to have your heel to arch alignment. Inhale here in Warrior Two, looking out over that right hand. And on the exhale, bring your left hand down your left leg, bring your right arm up overhead, and for Reverse Warrior. Inhale, come back to your Warrior Two. And on the exhale, bring that right forearm down to your right knee, and bring that left arm up overhead. Inhale, come back up to Warrior Two. And now you're going to parallel your feet, and you may need your block, so have that handy, grab that. So both of your feet are now facing forward or onto the side of your mat, and you are in a nice wide stance here. Inhale, and now exhale, hinging at your hips, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway up and look out in front of you, and exhale, fold in. Inhale, come all the way back up. Turn those right toes back out to your Warrior Two stance. You need to move the block out of the way before we get going here. Inhale. And on the exhale, plant your hands, bring your hands down to the ground, and step back into plank pose. Inhale here. And on the exhale, bring your elbows in close to your body. Exhale and lower down to the ground. Untuck your back toes. Plant your hands next to your chest. Inhale, bring your chest and your head up into Cobra. Exhale, back to all fours. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, and come into Downward Facing Dog. Stay for a breath. On the inhale, step your right foot forward, look forward. And now we're going to come up into a high lunge from here. So find your balance, find your gait, your steadiness, and come on up into a high lunge. You can leave your hands here on your hips, or you can inhale and bring them up overhead. Exhale and an inhale. On the exhale, step forward on your mat and come back into mountain pose. Let that go. And now, and just have those blocks handy. So we're going to do the other side now. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward, hinging at your hips, touch the ground. Inhale, halfway lift, look out in front of you. And now on the exhale, you're now going to step your right foot back, right foot back, and come up into Warrior Two. Inhale and look over that left hand. On the exhale, bring your right hand down your right leg and bring your left arm up overhead, or do your Reverse Warrior. Inhale back to Warrior Two. And now exhale and bring that left elbow down to your left knee and your right arm up over you toward the front of your mat. And then inhale, come back up to Warrior Two. If you needed the block on the first side, grab it. We're going to parallel the feet now. Turn that left foot parallel to the side edge of your mat. Take a nice big inhale. And on the exhale, we're going to fold in, hinging from our hips. And then inhale and halfway lift. And exhale once more and fold in. Inhale, come all the way back up. Turn your left toes back to Warrior Two. Rebend that front knee. Inhale here. And on the exhale, bring both your hands down to the ground. Your foot back into plank pose. Inhale. And exhale, lower your body to the ground. Untuck your back toes. Plant your hands. Now inhale yourself up into Cobra. Keeping the elbows tucked into your sides. Exhale. Come up to all fours. Tuck your toes and step back into Downward Facing Dog, raising your hips up toward the sky. Stay for a couple breaths here. Looking forward on the inhale, bring that left foot forward and come up on the ball of your back foot. Stand up, steady yourself, get your steady stance, and you're now in a high lunge where the front knee is bent. Keep your hands here, or inhale and bring them up overhead. Stay for the exhale. Inhale, and exhale, step up onto your mat into mountain pose. Okay, from here, we're going to do similar and just add on to that. So inhale, rise your arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward, touching the ground. Inhale, halfway lift. On the exhale, we're going to step that left foot back into warrior two again, coming on up. Inhale and look out over that right hand. On the exhale, we're going to reverse warrior. So bring that left hand down the back of your left leg, right arm up overhead. Inhale back to warrior two. Exhale to side angle. Bringing that forearm down, left hand overhead. Inhale, back up to warrior two. From here, we're going to straighten that front leg. Grab your block. Some of you will need it for this pose. Put it next to on the outside of your right foot. I'm going to come into triangle pose. So from here, front leg is straight. We're going to hinge forward, bringing that hand down either to the block, to our shin, to the ground, wherever you need to do it. And this left arm will go up overhead for triangle pose, looking up. Breathe here. And on the exhale, you're going to bring your hands down to the sides, with the block out of the way, and step back into a plank pose. Inhale and plank. Exhale. Come down to the ground. Untuck your toes. Inhale and rise up into cobra pose. Exhale to all fours. Tuck your toes and come into downward facing dog. Take a nice deep breath here. One more. Inhale and look forward and bring that right foot forward. And from here, we can come up to that high lunge again. So come on up. Get your stance. Make sure you're steady in your stance. Breathe here. Inhale with your arms up overhead if you'd like. And on the exhale, we're going to plant the left sole of the foot onto the ground into warrior one. So warrior one is both our hips are squared to the front of the room. Inhale here. And now we're going to exhale, and we're going to turn our body slightly to the left and bring your arms out in front of you, almost like you're doing a down dog. So your legs will still be in the warrior one stance, but your arms are going to come out into like a down dog stance. Breathe here. On the exhale, turn back toward your front of your mat and step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, bring your arms up all the way overhead. And exhale your hands back down to the center. Let your arms go. Breathe here. Well, now we'll do the other side. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward, touching the ground. Inhale, halfway lift. And on the exhale, step your right foot back and open up into warrior two. Inhale, look out over that left hand. Your left knee is bent. On the exhale, we're going to reverse the warrior. Bring your right hand down, your right leg, left arm up over. Inhale, back to your warrior two. Exhale into side angle. So bring that forearm down to your knee, right arm up overhead toward the front of your mat. Stretch out. Inhale, come back up to warrior two. And from here, straighten that front leg. Grab that block if you need it on the other side. I'll show it with holding my shin this time. Front leg is straight. And now you're going to tilt yourself forward, bringing that left hand down to your block, the floor, or your shin, like I'm holding right now. And your right arm is up overhead. And you're looking up towards your hand. Stay here for a breath. Exhale. And on the inhale, come back up to warrior two. Bring your hands down, plant your hands, and step back into a plank pose. Inhale and plank. Exhale, lower all the way down to the ground. Plant your hands next to your chest. And inhale, come up into a cobra pose. Exhale to all fours, tuck your toes, back to a nice downward facing dog. Stay for the exhale. On the inhale, look forward, step your left foot forward on your mat, and come up into a high lunge. Stay on the back, the ball of your back foot. Inhale here and rise your arms up overhead if you'd like. And on the exhale, we're going to plant the sole of that right foot down into a warrior two stance. Hips are squared to the front of the room. Inhale here. And on the exhale, bring your hands out to the right-hand side of your mat into you'll still have your legs in warrior one, but your arms will be like a down dog stance. Breathe here. In and out through the nose. And on your exhale, turn toward the front of your mat, step forward. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold in. Inhale, come all the way back up, reach for the sky, and exhale, bring your arms back down to your sides. From here, we're going to do one more short little flow. So we're going to inhale those arms back up. Exhale, folding forward, touching ground. Inhale, halfway lift. Look out in front of you. And on the exhale, plant your hands and step back into a downward facing dog. Stay for a breath. Now listen carefully. On the inhale, you're going to look forward and bring this right leg up and around on the outside of your right hand. So now both of your hands will be on the inside. I'm going to go ahead and lower that back knee, untuck those toes. So again, your right leg is out on the outside of your right hand. Now both of your hands are on the inside. A block can come in handy here. 2 blocks if you need them. Set them whatever height you need them to be. I'll show them with the medium height. So your left knee is on the ground. Your left toes are untucked. And we're just going to do this is a nice deep hip opening lunge. So you can stay as upright as you need to on the blocks. You can move the blocks and have your hands down on the ground. Or you can also have the blocks and you could come down on your forearms if you really feel like you can go further. Find where you need to be at and stay. So find that place for you where you need to be. And we're going to breathe here for just a moment. In and out through the nose. So find your variation. And then on the inhale, we're going to inhale one more time. Exhale, and we're going to now step forward on our mats. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold in. On the inhale, come all the way back up. Bring your hands up overhead and exhale into mountain. And from here, I'm going to turn to the side so you can see. We're going to go into tree pose. So bring that right leg into your chest for a moment. And on the exhale, turn that leg out and find where you would like to put it on your body. So it can be upper leg or the lower leg. If you need to have a wall nearby or need to grab a wall, grab a wall. Find that steady gaze out in front of you somewhere. Bring your hands together in front of you, in front of your heart, and breathe here for a moment. Keep that steady gaze and keep the breath. If you fall out, just come back into it. Wobbly today. Exhale and come back to your mountain pose at the top of your mat, and now we'll do the other side. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And on the exhale, just lost my place for a moment, excuse me. On the exhale, step back, plant your hands, step back in a downward facing dog. I had a moment there. Breathe here, in and out through your nose. And then on the inhale, listen carefully, look forward and bring that left foot around your left hand. Drop that that back knee onto the ground, untuck your toes. So both your hands are now on the inside of your left foot. So you've got a nice deep wide lunge here. And again, find where you need to be. We're going to take a couple breaths here. Your back toes are untucked. Your left leg is bent and his knee is bent, and your hands are on the inside of your left leg. So they're both are in the inside. Nothing's on the outside here. So breathe here. Use the blocks. Come to whatever variation was best for you. We'll take a breath or two here. So find that variation. This is a nice, deep, deep hip opener. Microphone's getting in the way. Excuse me. Looking forward, breathing. On the inhale, we're going to step forward on our mats. Inhale, look out in front of you, flat back, and exhale, fold in. Inhale, come all the way back up, reaching the hands overhead, and exhale, arms back down to your sides. And now again, I'm going to turn to face you. We're going to now do tree pose on this side. So if you need the wall, grab the wall. Bring that left knee into your chest. Find that gaze. Get steady here. Now turn that leg out to the side, out to the left, and place that foot anywhere on your leg except for your knee. Never your knee. Find that steady gaze. Look out in front of you and breathe. Breathing deeply, and look at that point in front of you. That will help your balance. You can always use a wall. Breathing here, steady gaze. And exhale. I'm unsteady today. See, it happens. It happens to all of us. And come back into mountain pose for a moment. And from here, we're just going to plop down on the mat. So have a seat. I'm going to face you. You can be however you want on your mat. Bring the soles of your feet together, as wide out as you need them, or they can come closer in. You just find out you figure out your variation where that's best for you. We're going to inhale, and if you're really rounded in the back, I will turn to the side. If you're really rounded like this, then you're going to stay upright and work on getting an upright spine. If you are mostly upright and your knees are not way up and your knees are closer to the ground, you're going to hinge forward at your hips, any amount coming forward. Stay here for a breath or two. Inhale, come back up, and now we're going to lie on our backs. Your soles of your feet on the ground, and we're going to come into a bridge pose. So soles of the feet on the ground, about hip distance apart, keeping your knees pointed up toward the sky, not splaying out or splaying in. Hands down on the mat, and just lift those hips up, chest up, and the shoulders down on the back. Really open up that back body a bit. Or the front body, I should say. Inhale here. On the exhale, come down. Bring your knees into your chest. And bring both knees over to the left for a nice supine twist. And the right arm out to the side. Looking over your right shoulder. Breathe here. Inhale back up to center. Bring those knees into your chest. And now exhale and drop them over, both of them over to the right-hand side. And your left arm will come out to the left and look over that left arm. Breathe here. Inhale, come back up to center. Hug the knees into your chest. And from here, you're just going to let everything go on the mat. Let your legs go, your arms go. Come into your final relaxation pose, Shavasana. You're going to get comfortable there. I'm going to sit up. You get comfortable there. Lie flat out on your mat. And just let your body go into the mat. And just feel the effects of your practice. So this was a 30-minute Vinyasa Flow class, and we were pretty much moving throughout the entire class. So you should start to feel your heart rate is now starting to slow down. Take some nice deep breaths in and out, and just feel that. Feel how you feel. Do you feel some tingly feeling through you? Do you feel the energy radiating through your body? How do you feel? And while you're in Shavasana for about another minute or so, I'd like to share this week's tip. And this is from a Yoga Journal article. It was online. It was dated November 15th of 2020. And I'll add that link into the bottom of this video. But one of the things they were talking about was how flow will help move lymph throughout your body. So we all have that lymphatic system in our body, and that is kind of our trash collection and our It helps clear out anything, finding any foreign bodies it needs to clear out. And so, unlike our heart that pumps blood through, the lymphatic system depends upon our movements to help pump that lymphatic fluid through our bodies. So what you just did today is a great immune booster because it helps to move that lymph throughout your whole body and to keep that flowing well so it doesn't just stay in one place. And so this week's tip is, in relation to your immunity, is also, I encourage you to stay connected to others. And I know that in this time right now, this is a little harder to do. You may not be able to stay connected to each other in person, but try to stay connected to others either via, maybe you do a Zoom call or FaceTime or whatever technology that you use. Call somebody you haven't talked to for a while, or do a video conference with somebody you haven't talked to for a while. Check in on a neighbor, maybe phone them if you don't want to go over and be in person with them. Just stay connected to others in one way or the other, and in a good way. Not fighting on social media, but stay connected. Find a way to reach out to somebody maybe that you haven't talked to for a while. And the other big tip is do more yoga. That's going to be the tip every week this week, or every week this month. Do more yoga. So if you're ready to come out of your Shavasana, I'll guide you through that. Otherwise, you can stay there if you'd like. So hug those knees into your chest. Take a nice deep breath in. Roll over to your right side. Come on up. Come back to seated. I thank you so much for joining me for this class and for trying out Vinyasa Flow if this is your first time ever doing a flow class. I hope that you enjoyed it. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Remember, stay connected to others in whatever way works for you. Do more yoga. Namaste. Until next time.